Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media. I want to provide some background first on this issue, for which I'm calling this press conference today. On the 21st of September 2018, the government of the Republic of Korea had communicated officially through diplomatic channels that the passports of 7 individuals connected with the Grace Road cult have been nullified. And they are: 1, Grace Road Senior Director, Daniel Jung-Yong Kim; 2, Acting Grace Road President, Sung Jin Lee; 3, Nam Suk Choi; 4, Bayong Jun Lee; 5, Jin Suk Yon; 6, Byom Seok Shin; and 7, Chul Na. Now, these individuals' passports were nullified by the Korean government in relation to charges laid by the South Korean government, who had issued a warrant for their arrest. In July 2018, red notices were published by Interpol, referring to these individuals as fugitives wanted for prosecution. All of these were ignored by the former government. Using my discretion as minister under Section 13(2)(g) of the Immigration Act, these individuals were declared prohibited immigrants, making their presence in Fiji unlawful. On September 6, 2023, a task force consisting of the Fiji police force and the immigration officers began the removal of these individuals. Of these, 4 were successfully apprehended, and they are Acting Grace Road President Mr. Sung Jin Lee, Ms. Nam Suk Choi, Mr. Byong Jun Lee, and Mr. Byom Seok Shin. However, 2 individuals, Mr. Daniel Jung-Yong Kim and Mr. Jin Suk Yoon, still remain at large. During the removal process, Fiji Airways declined to transport Ms. Sung Jin Lee and Ms. Nam Suk Choi due to a High Court order. And the Solicitor General has received this court order for review. So these 2 people I'm referring to have been removed from the plane, huh? And only 2 had gone. So these 2, Ms. Sung and Ms. Lee and Ms. Choi, have been released and are currently at the Grace Road farm in Nabua. 2 other individuals, Mr. Byong Jung Lee and Mr. Byom Seok Shin, departed Fiji to Singapore on a Fiji Airways flight, accompanied by a South Korean embassy interpreter and 4 Fiji police personnel. The FTF personnel will return to Fiji after a brief stay in South Korea. Additionally, the Ministry of Home Affairs and Immigration is exploring legal options under the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters 1997 and the Extradition Act 2003, given that these individuals are subject to Interpol red notices. It is important to note that Fiji and the Republic of Korea do not currently have an extradition treaty in place. And as of September 2023 at 09:13 a.m., the Solicitor General has indicated plans to challenge the court order. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Immigration will continue to monitor and address the situation in line with our legal procedures. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take a few questions. Please raise your hand and which media outlet you're from.
Good morning, Minister. Eli here from Fiji Live. I just wanted to indicate there has been also an investigation that has been conducted by the government. Would you be able to give a brief update on the matter? that's being conducted on Grace Road, the investigation?
Yeah, I mean, as you understand, this has been coming since 2018. And this matter had been, unfortunately, has been left on the wayside, without any action. I came to inherit it when I became minister, and we started the work on reopening this case after it's been left idle for a while, to reinvestigate it and make sure that these people are granted, due process. And at the end of that process, I have now taken this action under the powers that are vested in the minister under the law to have them removed. And so 2 are still out there, 2 have gone, and 2 have been offloaded. So to answer your questions, that's the outcome of the work that government has been doing up to date.
Also, on another matter, sir.
On a matter of Grace Road or on a matter outside of Grace Road?
Under your...
Can I take questions first on Grace Road and then maybe on other matters later? Thank you.
So, Mayor Timbarak from Fiji Times, has the Ministry of Passports been able to determine why the previous government failed to take action on the notice given by Interpol?
Our concern is to deal with them according to the law, and that has been the major motivation behind this, is to make sure that we uphold Fijian laws. And that's exactly why we are doing this, the integrity of our own laws and our processes, and also, the security of our nations and the laws that we keep. So that is why we have done this, to make sure that we, to maintain the integrity of our legal systems, really. Yeah.
Sir, Charlie from the BC News. Will there be any other investigation into how you're allowed to remain in the country for this time?
Grace Road issue has been a long pending issue. There's a whole lot of issues that people have raised, not only within the sphere of my work, but out there in the social domain and the people's domain. Because it's always been surrounded with controversy. Obviously, as a company, Grace Road as a company, has invested heavily in Fiji. We recognize that and we appreciate that. But that does not mean to say that things are not being questioned by everybody, just like everything else. So people out there have the right to question it, and the government must respond to that. And this is the way we are responding, and we are taking the law first as the first course of action. The other matters of concern as raised earlier in terms of the delay that was, that was there from the last time, those issues will have to be taken up by the relevant authorities. Right now, our job is to uphold the law.
There's a piece of property acquired by Grace Road in Victoria.
Sorry, say that again?
Piece of property
Yes.
acquired by the Grace Road in Victoria.
Okay, yeah, you're telling me now, yeah.
So warfare has stopped since Easter weekend. Is there a reason why it has stopped? Has it?
No, I wouldn't have a clue. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not. The business side of Grace Road is hardly a matter that I'm interested in it, but it's not necessarily under my care. So maybe that's probably better put to, Minister for Commerce and Trade.
From Fiji Village, just a clarification, 2 have been deported to South Korea, 2 are still on the run, and 2 are at their residence in Mako. Were there 7 in total, or were there 6?
No, 6.
6?
So, in that regard, may I just use this opportunity to reach out to, these other 2 who, in my view, perhaps trying to, trying not to be seen or noticed by anybody. And we're unable to reach them. The police, obviously, and the relevant authorities are looking for them. But let me remind the general public that it is, an offense to actually harbor people who are wanted, in this, and it is against the law to do that. So please, we welcome information, with regards to their location, as they are prohibited immigrants in Fiji. So. You good? Sorry, okay, there was somebody asking another question on another matter.
Sorry, just on the issue again. You mentioned that there's no extradition.
No, not yet.
Yeah, so will the Ministry or the government be looking to have this on basis?
It would be, we have it with other countries. It's an agreement reached between the two countries. I think it would be a good thing if we did, yeah. Safeguarding each other's interest. I mean, we are, we're meeting our international obligations under this arrangement which we have with Interpol. As you know, this is not the first time we've done this. So throughout this year, we have removed citizens of other countries that were wanted by Interpol. And I think so far, if I can remember, there were 4 already from the beginning of this year. Well, at least from when I took office, yeah, 4 of them. So this is also just, we are being consistent in the way that we apply the law. Okay, thank you.
Minister Tikoduadua, also on another matter, there seems to be a continuous disruption in the passport services with the Department of Immigration. How is your department looking to enhance or minimize these disruptions, particularly in this critical service?
Yes, I will admit that we are very much the Department of Immigration is seriously lax, in resources to be able to keep up with the requirements, the people's need out there. Okay, it's not necessarily the fault of the department. Government this year has invested a lot of money into that. We are reviewing the immigration laws to make sure that they are responsive to our needs and the needs of our investors. And that is something that we are presently, going through with our own committee of government. That we will see the fruition of that coming soon. We are moving to a new HQ. We're having a new integrated border management system that will be more responsive, to getting passports out quickly and processing these things. And we're moving to better sites where people can then, sit better. We have more people being recruited to respond to this need. So yes, we are doing something about it. And hopefully this is going to be a problem of the past. We are investing in automation. And we're trying to, cashless processes are more quicker than cash transactions because there's a lot of changing hands involved. So that's the way we want to go. That's all helping in this process. Okay, I'll be the first put my hand up. Yes, we need to work a little bit harder given the restrictions that we have. Government has made this commitment, but we do have a plan to roll that out soon. So I've given you certain things that we are doing to make things better. But please, I'm imploring our people out there, bear with us. I get your complaints every day. I know I hear it. But we're going to try and resolve that soon with those things that I've mentioned earlier.
So just the last question. How are the other investigations into Graceroot coming along?
Well, those things, like I said, are continuing. We have a task force that is looking into that, a whole of not only government, but every other stakeholder involved. Okay. The intention here really is not to criminalize anybody. The important thing here is the law. Okay? And there's a comment that was noted earlier. There are observations out there by the people about how Graceroot came to be. We recognize the level of investment that they've done here, and that is good. That is good. But also, if there are observations, people have raised issues, government has an obligation to look at it, which is why we are looking at it. And we've taken some steps now. And then, the other processes will follow soon. And, we should be able to update you with regards to, whatever other matters that are pending.